This story comes to us from fox2detroit.com. You're going to love what this police officer was doing when something happened to warrant, little joke, a, punishment. A man who was arrested for outstanding parking tickets out of Detroit was hurt on Monday when he said the officer who was transporting him from Warren fell asleep twice and ultimately rear-ended another car. Xavier Cremati was being driven back to Detroit from the Macomb County Jail to Detroit Jail. According to Cremati, he was picked up for possession and outstanding parking tickets when he was handcuffed in the back of the police car, and he said the Detroit police officer fell asleep at the wheel. Isn't that a album, somebody's album or a song, Asleep at the Wheel? Well, it was a country band, right? But he said, I noticed the officer fall asleep one time. Xavier says the officer got it together, changed the stations on the radio, and seemed to be okay, but then fell asleep again. Maybe the officer should have found a good song that they could sing to and stay awake. Instead of listening to Fly Me to the Moon, Flying Over Mars. I don't know what they were listening to. But he said, according to Cremati, we get down by 696 and I noticed like he swerved into the turning lane and fell asleep again and hit the back of the vehicle. It was in Warren on Groesbeck, just north of 696, and Police Commissioner Bill Dwyer of the Warren Police Department said the officer is facing a civil infraction, which means a fine and points, but no jail time. A civil infraction, a moving violation. This is crazy, right? Now, can you imagine the guy handcuffed in the back of the car like, yo, wake up. Yo, there's a car. Wow, there's a car up there. Oh my God, this is going to hurt. Bill Dwyer said the investigation is completed and quite frankly, the officer was found at fault. We're going to give him a citation. Detroit Police Department 2nd Deputy Chief Rudy Harper said the officer was not believed to be asleep at the time. Well, something happened. They rear-ended a car. Or is that cops-plaining? Chief Harper said we have no evidence to support that the officer was sleeping. In fact, the officers were having a conversation seconds before the accident. Okay, so maybe the perp is lying. We don't know. But Cremati said he knows people won't believe him because of his record, but he knows what he saw. That's like me sometimes. When I say something about a YouTube video I saw, people go, oh, come on, man. Come on, why do you hate the cops? You're being stupid. I saw it. He was seriously injured and lost a front tooth. He also said that he wasn't wearing a seatbelt. Yeah, some cops forget to seatbelt you in. And then they slam their brakes because they think it's funny. Well, this one ain't too funny because he just might get a lawsuit out of this. He said, my injuries might not have been too bad if I was in a seatbelt. Uh-oh, lawsuit coming. Cremati said he's using the crash as a wake-up call for his life. Yeah. He said, got to get them tickets cleared up. He said, I ain't doing this. I ain't going through this again. Now, according to Chief Harper, he said, we continue to investigate a claim that the officer fell asleep while driving. Initially, we thought the officers were speaking to each other, but it may have been the radio. Ha ha! You see what I'm saying? Backstep. Because a minute ago he said they were just having a conversation and they had minutes before the accident. But now he's saying as they investigate, he said, oh, maybe they weren't speaking to each other. Maybe it was just chatter on the radio. Or I don't know what he's talking about. I don't think this police chief knows what he's talking about. He's trying to do cop-splaining and it's not coming across too well. Chief Harper, you got some cop-splaining to do. You almost really have to believe the perp in the back of the car that maybe the officer really did fall asleep. Now, we weren't there. We don't know if the officer fell asleep or not. But something happened where the officer rear-ended this car. Was the officer following too closely? Was the officer messing with her display while driving this prisoner to jail, trying to do a booking packet, arrest packet? Was the officer texting on Facebook? Or did the officer fall asleep? Something happened in that car that officer rear-ended a car. I'm pretty bad rear end too. So Chief, you can say whatever you want. But she's transporting a prisoner. It wasn't like, what was she, code 3? Did this guy have felonious vehicle tickets? Possession of, I don't know, I was going to say SAR, I don't know, what's that, SAR, the drug? But something happened.